Welcome to Object-Oriented Game Design. Hello and welcome back to Game Design Part 11. I've set up a new project. I've imported all the classes. I've added the vector math library and I've created a res folder. I did the res folder outside of Netbeans because Netbeans keeps crashing when I create a new folder in it. So I'll create a new res folder using Windows Explorer and then add it to the file path using Netbeans. And that avoids the crash, so bear that in mind. And then the library is just added vector maths from the project folder. Alright, straight into this today. We just need to copy over the res from Game Design 10 where we started to implement our bullet system, which I must say is looking pretty good and working pretty well. So copy these into res, paste, and give it a test. First time I've run it today, so it might be a little slow to start the Java virtual machine. But here's how we left it yesterday. The frames is beyond me at this point. Sometimes we get 20 frames a second, sometimes we get 6 frames a second. Earlier when I started playing I got 24 frames a second, but we'll see. So there's our bullet system for the player. Left and right missiles. Obviously when we add the power-ups we're gonna have to add an additional bullet system or a different version of the same bullet system and start working from there. But these enemies, although they're tracking the plane at the moment, they're not firing at them, and I want to see what invader bullets look like on the screen and if they work as well as the player bullets. So that's our next move, enemy bullets. Now obviously if we're going to work with the enemy bullets we need an image to start with, and I'd love to say I have one prepared, but honestly I don't. So we're just going to grab the one from the sprite sheet, which is already somewhat scaled, and that is the invader bullet. But I know we also got the shadow here that we're not employing on the invaders yet, and I think that would be a nice effect to add a shadow, say below the clouds. Might be tough to employ that. We'll see. Order of magnitude says that's probably going to have to go on the level data and then somehow be connected to the vector on the actual ship. Yeah, I can't wait to get these explosions, and they look real cool. But today we're working on the bullet system, so we're looking at invader bullet. And we just want to drag this over to the 128 version, make a single image out of it, and then center that up as we did with the player image. Oh, and that's perfect. Perfect size, perfect fit. Didn't even need to scale it or anything. So turn off the crop duster bullet. And this is our invader bullet. Notice it's green at the moment. But all our versions of fire are green. So it does kind of match. May have to scale it, may have to rotate it, but we'll see. the moment, I'm happy with that version, so I'm gonna go ahead and save that out using the same sort of file naming conventions that we did for the player 128 image. And where was the player bullet? So this will be N bullet 1, as it's the first version. Okay, save that out. Then we need to copy it over to Netbeans and the bullets folder. And it should be around there somewhere. There we go. So copying from Explorer into the bullet package of res. And then we have our bullet. And possibly to do two different versions. There's one with the glow and one without the glow, and then animate between the two. But let's sort out our bullet system for the enemies first. Alright, it's going to be a lot of the same code as we did yesterday, so I'm not one for, repeating code. So it's going to be, it's a lot of copy and pasting, I think. All we have to change really from the player 1 bullets and enemy 1 bullets, or the enemy bullets, is the variables really, and the direction of the bullets. Everything else is the same. So first of all, enemy bullets need to extend bullet, which they do. I've already done that bit. Then we need some, what do we use the shots for, left and right? Could do something similar. But let's grab the constructor and the rest of the code, except for what's already in there. I think hit's already in there, so we don't need that. For the image player, not going to need the player. Just OK on that one. And we would normally get errors because these lists don't exist, but because we're extending bullet, they do exist. We just need to switch them out. Alright. We have our hit, but we don't have our fire. Or get bounds. Get all or clear all. So this is going to be an easy class to do because we did all the hard work yesterday. We figured out what goes where and what's needed. Now we just need to implement it in the same way, but a reverse direction. Alright, so that's all our modules in for that class. Now we just need to go in and change everything to end bullet. I think these are just end bullet offsets. Enemy bullet offset. We'll have to come back for those, but I'm just going to call it enemy at the moment till we figure out what the name is. We're not going to be using player width there, it's going to be end width. No, bullet width. No, end width. So enemy.end width. Import enemy. And the end width is probably not public static. So this is end bullet image. And it is in bullets, but it's not called P1, it's N. Capital E, lowercase n. And that's the image sorted. These aren't P1 bullets, these are N bullets. I'll fix the rest of that in a minute. What have we called N bullets and bullet? We haven't. Alright, so let's just uncomment some of this. N bullet needs a setup. N bullet needs a render. And N bullet needs a tick. Gotta move. Gotta hit. Then we'll have to do the same here with the list of N bullets. And check collisions. Alright, now we need to build these lists. Alright, so these are complete. Don't need to worry about those. That's complete. So is that. Not sure about the init. And the setup is complete. Don't need the bullet width and height. I'm going to set them anyway. Bullet speed still 17. Alright. Get rid of that unneeded space and close that. And separate that. Alright, so I have a P1 bullets and P1 bullets. P1 bullets and P1 bullets 1 list. We need the same for our other bullets. And we need an X offset and a Y offset that we didn't use before, but we will employ. So there's that. These need to be N bullets. And change these to N bullets. Just N bullets. Alright, so that's sorted. And these are going to be enemy. Bullet offset X and enemy bullet offset Y. Alright, and that should do in bullet. So back in enemy bullets. And in fact, let's grab the list from here. We're looking at this sort of list to iterate through. It starts. That's going to be N bullet image. Needs an N bullet. Which means player 1 bullet needs the same. P1. P1. Alright. Back in enemy bullet. Save that. What we're looking for here. Anything to do with the other player. Yeah, enemy width is probably not there. Enemy bullet image is set. That's fine on the initiate. Got to initiate our setup. And it's here. So we're using N bullets, which means each one of these is N bullet. Which P1B don't match NB. And again, we're checking if that's dead. Drawing the enemy bullet image. And then using the object variables to figure out these, which may be different to the player, but we'll plug these values in for now. I believe that's the lot. And then again with the N bullets on the tick, and its end bullet get all. And its end bullet on the move. And it's positive on the Y, as in direction of travel. And its end bullet hit. And it's less than 0. And it's greater than 0, so then increase. I probably got that wrong way around, but anyway. It may well be a minus, but we'll figure this out. So it's end bullet, applying the bullet speed to the Y. If it's not dead, if it's dead, then it's hit. Got our hit, which is firing off an end bullet explode. Then we need to figure these out. This is end bullet and end bullet. And we're firing off the adding to the list of end bullets, and that makes these end bullets. Okay, but it's not the player who's firing this. It's gonna be an enemy. E1. Okay, and these are gonna be MBs, 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 and MBs. Right. Now it's telling us we don't have one of the variables, I believe. X is not public and enemy cannot be accessed from outside the package. Okay then. So we need to go in enemy and change a few variables in there. It's not public, so we need to change that. And we'll probably give it a public static, because we are applying this when we set it somewhere. But yeah. So we're going to need the X and the Y static. Save. No, what's it got a problem with? Still updating. Oh, no problem. Cool. And it's saying they don't need to be static, just public. Okay. That gets rid of the yellow. Need to import sound and create a new sound object, which is enemy shoot. So import the audio and create a file called nshoot in sound. Click create a field. That's going to be a sound object, and we'll give it a value because it won't give us an error, and that's nshoot. Because everything else has got comments, we'll give this comments too. Okay, save. Done in sound. Back to end bullet. So these shots are working on if it's odd, do one side of the ship, and if it's even, do the other side. But the X value here is off, and I think this X is off as well. That should be like x plus half at the width for the enemy. And that x plus 4 is probably too wide. Alright, we need to import rectangle for barns. Alt rectangle, just to be clear that. And our bounds on this are x plus 4, y width by 3. Why have we got height twice? Times 3, is it? Shared by 3. Why is there 5 variables? No, it's that y should be on its own. Should be no 20. It should be bullet height. Right. That's the bounds currently. We might have to change it like that. Why not? Keep it for now. So this list is an n bullet list. It's also an array list, so we need to import util list. And I think it's util array list. Yep. Make sure you don't get the list or the array list from anywhere else, because it just won't work. Now we just need to plug these values in. It's not p1 bullets 1, it's n bullets 1. And these are all n bullets. Or n bullets 1. And I'm just checking that in player 1 bullets. Is it number 1 list we're throwing out on the get haul? It is. And it works, so that's right. Same code, right. Save that off. Alright, so we've got our get barns. Got our get all. Our clear all needs to be changed to n bullets. That'll clear that list. And I think we might be done apart from the offsets, which we can figure out. And the move, whether the move's working or not. But what we need to do is set the enemy up to fire at certain things. What we've got here, end width is not public and enemy can't be accessed from outside the package. End width needs to be public. Enemy height needs to be public. And because we're using enemy variables, enemies need to be set up before the bullets. So, gotta bear that in mind. Order of magnitude. Now what? Because it's not static. Non-static can't be referenced from static reference. Okay. Static, which is probably going to cause problems. And that's it. That got rid of a few errors. Okay. So we're not using these bullet offsets yet, but we might be able to throw them in there or in the initiate. But that is our enemy bullet class set. We don't need these dodgy imports or that one. Anything that says import static, get rid of it. It's not needed. Just Netbeans playing games. And the rest should draw the image, but We have a fire button in the player one. We don't have a fire button in enemy. We have a firing system, but not a fire button. We've got to move all. And in there, we're moving the enemy red scroll now. Move right. Change direction if it's touching the edge. And reset the touching the edge. Check collisions. We don't have anything in enemy for check collisions. But we do have to move all, so probably in there when it's move right, move left, move down. Maybe just in the for loop if it's still alive. I'll just do an if statement in there. And if the condition is true, then we'll just fire off the bullet. And fire. No, not firing lines, fire. Alright, this is gonna be one of them. I think that should be in the file. That should be end bullet. And then we need to close it off and import end bullet. All done. There's our fire. Often it's gonna fire. It's system dot current milliseconds timers over 150 percentage 20 equals 0, which is basically a whole bunch of nonsense, but it will happen so many times a second. Not every tick, not every time it moves, but every so often. Alright, so we've got our fire in, we've got our enemy bullet class. Clear all, get bounds. Fire will initiate one of two bullets, enemy bullets, in one of two spaces. We haven't got a hit because we've got no collision detection, but we've got a move that might need reworking. We've got a tick where it updates a list, gets rid of all the dead and off screen. And we've got a render where it draws the bullets and the bounds. And we've included the oval in the bounds as we did with the player bullet. But the oval bounds on the player bullet is top, the north of the bullet, and we need this on the south. So the Y is wrong here. It's going to be Y plus bullet height minus 15. Okay, we can plug that in now. Copy that. Plus height minus 15. And if we change the size of the circle, the size of the oval, then we have to change this offset as well. But that should put it at the bottom, at the point of the bullet. Just checking everything out. It's initiate, seems fine. We're just getting the image. I think it's ready to try now. But render and the move, it's probably somewhat we'll have to deal with. Hit is in there, but we're not really working with collisions. Shots, we might need to change that for enemy shots, unless we create it at the top here. We have, but we'll call it end shots, because we might need to keep track of both player and enemy shots. If we get an ender level bonus perhaps, we might need to do some calculation on both those variables. So his bullets increased on the fire, end shots, and increase end shots. Save. Alright, I think that's ready for testing, but I'm pretty sure the bounds are off. Where the bullets going to come out of the ship. And the direction the bullets coming in is definitely off as well. We're still on 0 angles here. We need to be plugging in the E1 angle rotation there, which will probably be the next bit after we've fixed the barns. So let's go in and do that. As you can see, Java Virtual Machine is speeding up a little now. We're back to kind of normal speed. It's got used to running. We're at 14 frames a second, and we have bullets. Enemy bullets. Oh, we lovely. Look at that. As you can see, I don't think we're taking the bullets, and if we're taking the bullets, we're not removing the bullets, and the bullets aren't moving to be removed to say they're dead. So all these bullets here, which are coming out too fast, they're firing too many, dropping our frame rate down. But we'll leave it like that for now. We need to go into our firing system, enemy here, and this is happening too often. So I'm going to make that a 450, and that should separate the relay of it. And the bullet still won't move because we haven't fixed that yet. Okay, and I think it's only the red because they're moving that it fixed. So it's just fired 2 bullets each. It's just firing another 1. It's fired another 1. But if you notice where they're coming out on X0 and Y a bit forward. So we need the Y a bit down, and we need to change the X to halfway across this. But yeah, that's a bit more spacious, and they're coming out the wrong way around. I'm pretty sure. No, they're coming out the right way around, that's right. Well, I need to scale them up. But we do need to start moving, so let's figure that out. We've not got a move bullet in the move here. In the move. We don't have a M bullet move that's working properly, at least. Or if we do, we're not taking it. Move right, move left, that's enemy. M bullet. Yeah, I don't think we've got the move in, or if we have, it's not working right. So, as long as Y is greater than 0, plus plus on the bullet. I believe that's wrong. So Y0 is at the top. As long as it's greater than plus plus, that should be right. Enemy bullet on the move. Move and bullet. We're calling moving the move all. No. We're only moving player 1 bullets at the moment because we didn't figure out our name of our list. So these aren't moving the enemy bullets, they're moving the player bullets twice. Knew it would be something simple. Now we're going through the bullets list, we need to move each bullet. Alright, but then we need to check if we're moving in the right direction here. But I think the logic's right. Bullet speed might need to change. But we will be getting fired at now and the bullets will move from the enemies. But only from the reds. Whee! 2 minutes at a time. Probably coming out the wrong place. Whee! That's pretty cool. add some sound effects to it, and that might look pretty cool. But yeah, the direction of travel is straight down now, regardless of the ship being at rotate or not. And there's our laser bullets for the enemies to match our player bullets. And we're not losing too many frames per second on these. But yeah, so we'll have to do some bullet collision. And we'll definitely have to do some explodes on the ship, the invaders and the plane, the sources and the planes. He got blazed up with that. Alright, so now we've got bullet firing system in for each. We do need to work on the angle of travel and moving in that direction, because even if we tell the bullet to be at an angle, which we can do here, we'll set them up in the initiate. No, it's not in the render either. That's working right. Tick is working right. Here, we're moving the bullet, but we're only moving the bullet on the Y positive, which is cool. But we need to do some on the X as well, depending on the rotation or the angle of rotation. And the way we figure that out here is put this into 90 degrees on one of the bullets. Then one of the bullets should fire straight down, and the other bullet should also travel straight down, but it should be rotated 90 degrees. That's the theory. We never know with these things. Alright, so we're just about to fire some bullets, and the angle did not affect it whatsoever. And I think you could probably guess the reason for that, because we are rendering out the bullets, but we're not taking the angle into consideration when we render out the bullets. We're not rotating the G like we are in other classes, like the player and the enemies, so we need to add that in here. We've got the G2D and the affine transform, but no rotation. So drawing the image here, we need to rotate M bullets beforehand, and the way we do that is look for the plane, in fact look for an enemy red's got it in, and just copy this code in, and that should rotate the bullet. And we've already reset it down here, but we might need to add the additional bounds as well. I don't know about the draw line. Yeah, we'll have to do the draw lines and the additional angle as well. But let's do the rotate first. So M bullet, after we checked if it's dead or not, let's put that in there. Copy that over and change these variables to the right ones. Now again, this will rotate the bullet. The bullet will still travel straight down the screen. And we've got a problem with E rotation. It's not rotate E rotation, it is bullet angle. Okay, and it's not height and width, it's bullet width and bullet height. Height and height. Right, so we're translating from the X bullet halfway across the width, and the Y is halfway across the height, so in the center before we rotate the bullet. Then we're translating back and reset the transform after the show bounds and draw image. So that should be fun. We've figured out how to rotate the bullet now. At least one of them should be at 90-degree angle. But that's only because we've added the rotation to the G2D at this point. Without that, we just got straight down bullets. And we've got the same, I don't know where they came from. We're adding in the angles of these at the moment. And for some reason they're coming off the screen with these translates. So our bullet width and our bullet height aren't being used in here. We're actually, where's the where they created a file? We're actually using 25 and 35 for the width and height. Let's put 25 in for the width. The E25 and that's coming through. So we're actually setting the bullet width to that. So why are these coming out dodgy now? It's our translate or the bullet angle. So where are we getting the bullet angle from? I'm putting it in there 90 degrees. I think if we use E1's angle, we might be better there. So E1 dot E rotation. Is it E rotation? Oh, what's the problem with that? E rotation not public in anywhere. What a crime. No, it'll be right at the top somewhere. E rotation needs to be public like the X and the Y, which means the D and the Y will be as well. So just to save time, let's put them in. Save that. Don't know about the width and the height, but anyway. Now what we're going to tell us. Now this E rotation is the ship's rotation, the invader's rotation. Should work better than me plugging in 90 degrees because the E rotation is not really working on 90 degrees. Or the 360 is just working on whatever values. I mean, E rotation could be 527 degrees, but we need the bullet facing the same way. So where the bullet's going to come up now? Everywhere. So we think we've got to translate this off. But I can't figure out where. Come on, fire him again. And they're not being fired from the NX and the NY. They were, but they're not now. It should be. I'm going to take that off there. Try and figure out these. Alright, the move on these should act in the same way as everything else. That should be the dx and the dy. And then add the dx and dy before resetting them. We'll figure it out. Okay. We are using the enemy's x and y and the enemy's rotation. We're setting in the width and the height. What are the bounds? Width shared by 3. Yeah, bizarre. Speaking of bounds, that might help us here. It's one of these translates this off. Or the list is off. We're adding a bullet that shouldn't be there. Or the x and y is being confused with some other x and y is most probable. I think we'll make these private. That'll make a difference. Because we've got an x and y and bullet as well. Strange. See what a result is. So we should have some bullets flying down any second now, but these are moving the x and y. And what don't really want to do that with the bullets, enemy bullet. So our G2D that's coming in is resetting it there, but I think it's already on the rotate, so I'm going to take this final translate out and just try it with that. A whole bunch of bullets fell down the side of the screen now. Is it going to fire again? Probably not for a while. See, this is the effect we've got at the moment. And that's not really the right effect. And we should probably implement it on the player first, because it'd be easier to figure out. Yeah, I don't think it's going to fire again. I'll have to restart. But yeah, we're translating the x from the x plus half the bullet width, which is 25, 12. So I think we're going the wrong way. Whoa, wow. That's really cool. If they can start off in the same x and y as they should, that'd be great. Alright, let's try turning that translate off. Just doing the rotate. No, I should have. Wow, where did that come from? Okay, I don't know where these bullets think they're emerging from, but that just came out of nowhere. Yeah, amazing. Alright, so one of these is wrong, but I couldn't tell you which one. So we'll have to try one at a time. And I think the minus translate should be up here and the positive should be down here. Yeah, the translate's not being reset by the looks of it. Come on, fire. I'm gonna have to change that fire. Frequency is terrible. Come on, what's the bullets? Oh well. And one way of doing it is saying if the ship's one direction, then fire it down. Then we'll only have 45-degree fire this side, 45 degrees this side, and 45 on each of the ops and either side. But that won't match the animation of the ship. Ah, bizarre. What's happening is we're translating and our X and Y is becoming confused where it should be. Um, if we take out both the translates, the angle of the bullet is going to translate from 0, 0 of the image. I don't know if we can compensate in here by moving the X and the Y to plus bullet width half and bullet width height. For the X and the Y, where are they being set? E1's X and Y. Which is kind of off. We actually want them emanating from the center of the ship because they're coming from underneath. So we're looking at X plus half the width. Half the bullet width even. No, it's not half the bullet width, that's the width. N width. And then the Y is going to be the same. We have no rotation on these bullets here, so these shouldn't have changed. And then we can just use the X and the Y of the bullet. Here, I think. And here. If we need to translate, let's see. Right, they come out from down here, that's wrong. Yeah, they're coming out from everywhere, but it really does look cool. Our angle. I'm going to share that by 360 and just see if that does it. Because our angle is above 360 or below minus 360, and we need to convert it really. So our bullets should start coming out the center of these ships if I get it right. Right, okay, that kind of worked. Hey, it's on fire again then. Coming out from all sides there. Alright, they all seem to be coming from the one ship. They're coming from the off-screen point as well. Ah, this is shader. Alright, let's throw some bombs in. For the bullets, we need to figure out what the angle of the bullets is. Yeah, let's take that out for now. And add a translate. Translate at the moment is already on that. No, it's on the enemy width, isn't it? And we want to translate, rotate the bullet. So it does need the bullet width and height in there, that's right. And then that should be back. But I think we might have to do the translate back after we've drawn the image. We'll see, but then we need to add the additional bands in there as well. But we might as well put them in play with one bullet as well. So we're going to be looking at direction of travel. So we have our plane. We've gone back to the dodgiest. Yeah. So for some reason, if I set that there, that don't work very well. I'm going to reset that down here. I can't. And these aren't being reset inside the is dead. They're being reset outside the list, so that's not good. We need them in the if dead false, but which means there. And tab those in. Okay, that might make a bit more sense. Only if we rotate them do we want to bother setting them back. And we'll find out if we need to translate it before or after the image here. If they're in the right spot, then that's fine. If not, it's before. So loading text bullet here, which means that someone fired. They're coming out down there. So I would put that as a translate before the image. But I need to check these variables are right. So translating, but I don't know if we're translating the right degrees. Alright. Okay. So this is how I said they would come out if we got it right. And if I don't do the translate, I don't think they come out in the right X and Y. But they do seem to follow the path. I think the set and the transform might have to come after the list. don't seem to come out now, apart from down the bottom there. But they do travel the right direction when we do that. Try taking this out. Right, okay. So the ones with rotation are flying at an angle, which is great. They're just not emanating from where we want them to. And I have a feeling it might be this. That seems to take them off the screen. Try bringing that one. Get rid of that one, which I think is working best at the moment. And then fire. There we go. On the screen. So maybe it's that one that works the best. Alright, let's move this down to here. And move these outside the for loop. See what effect we get with that. That in effect should go through the whole list with the different angles before it resets the transform back. So this transform should be okay every time for each of the bullets. So it depends on the X and the bullet width, where it translates to, and the Y and the bullet height, to where the rotate transfers to. Okay. Right. We've got some mad directions coming on now. But if we did the share by 360, what does that give us? And, whoa, this is the wrong direction. They're coming down this way, and the angle is that way. So that might explain something. The positive angle on this one might need to be the negative angle on the bullet. If they fire over this way again, you'll see what I mean. Alright, they're not going to fire again. At least not on the screen. Yeah, that needs increasing anyway. I'm going to try minus 360 now. Send it round the other way. Then those bullets should come out the direction of the ship's pointing, in theory. But again, you can say if I was changing this to a negative and not to a negative, and Just don't get anywhere. It needs to slow the speed of the bullet down and increase the firing, which has just taken place, but off screen the bullets appeared. So we've got our wires wrong. Yeah, we need to increase our bullet occurring. There's an enemy. Move all. We've got our firing system now. Should wire 2 on that one. We will get it, don't worry. It's just about maths. Okay, so we've been firing, but nothing's come up on the screen. And I don't think that's increased any. So let's do that. Go back into end bullet. Reset the translate. For the image. Then don't set the transform now. Let's reset the old G2D. See if that gets us anywhere. So one of them's wrong. We don't know which one it is, so we're going to try everyone in turn, and these things can take time. Wow. So it looks like we're going to increase in fire with the bullets, which should happen again shortly. But are they coming from the right direction? They just don't want to fire no more. Only did it the once. I'm just gonna say if 25 on that. That should be every other time. And this is the only the reds firing at this point. We still need to implement this for the others. So we should get one in that direction if we got it right, as well as, alright. Not sure where that second lot came from. I think ideally what I should do is single out one of the invaders to fire, so it's not confusing which one's firing and which direction the bullets coming in and from. It's a pretty cool effect that they can go underneath each other. We will have to determine which layer of enemies is which. It's alright, the reds can go under the greens, but can the golds go over the greens, or the reds go under the golds, or do they go over the top? Alright, not firing. So we need one of the center enemies. Keep calling them enemies. The center invaders, the sources. To single out to fire. And then we need to fix the angles on that one and apply it to the rest. but I haven't got a clue where those bullets came from. I know they came from one of these ships, but I haven't got a clue which one. I think I'm going to single out one of these two, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. I'll go for 5. So only fire on the 5th invader, and only at the current time, milliseconds, is that. With creating these lines of code, we're always going to get issues. The idea is to figure out cool ways of getting rid of them. Right, so our angles are off there by about 45%, about 45 degrees, I mean, and the X and Y is off as well. But yeah, when we put the reset the transform before the image, the bullets travel down the screen, although they're way off on the X and Y. The angle seems to have reset itself at that point. I don't know if it's because I did the -36 there, or whether it should be a negative angle. Because of the direction, but the direction is the same as the ship, so okay, that came out a bit dodgy. They're all traveling in the Y, but it did seem to have the right angle. If we can get some traveling up the screen, that really would be progress. Emanating from the invader, even better. Well, where's these bullets? I can sit here watching these flash all day, there's no bullets. Where's the bullets? Share by 50% is 25, should always or almost always equal 0. Like I say, I'm just messing about with these numbers. Wow. Alright, so enemy 5, and there's our bullet. It's traveling straight down. It did look like it's emanating from the ship, but it's traveling straight down at the angle it's supposed to be traveling, which implies this translate shouldn't be translated back until after the image. And I'm going to implement the show additional bounds in this end bullet class here. Just call these additional bounds. Which we already created a variable for. So we've got the oval and the rectangle, and we need to add the lines, don't we? Which are in enemy red to get the angle. So copy these over to mbullet in our additionals, and just tap these in. This is a good way to check if this translates working. The bullet image should be one direction, and the show bound should be completely reset. It's not the way we want it, obviously, but want it the other way around. Alright, it says M bullet, and these variables will probably have to change. The width and the height is wrong. Use bullet width. And it's not E rotation either. It is bullet angle. And bullet width. Bullet height. Okay. So there's our additional bounds. And we can throw these into the other classes as well now. So it's enemy red to green, isn't it? And these are additional bonds. And just need tabbing in. Okay. But I can't copy that. I just have to copy that. Greens. Render. And additional bonds. And tab those in. Alright. And that's the same. Yep. Alright. So we need the same again in the golds. Then we need to do the player up same. Additional bonds. And close them off. Tap them in. Save that off. Now just a player to add the same to. Oops. Render. After the game lives. Show bounds. I think these are show extra bounds with the liner. Show additional bounds even. And tap them in. Okay. So now we can have a show bounds and show additional bounds. If additional bounds is true, then so is show bounds. But show bounds can be true on its own without additional show bounds. Alright, that makes sense to me. Yeah, save that. Not really working too much on the enemy classes here. We're trying to concentrate on these bullets. So really the only enemy class is the enemy superclass we need to deal with. So these bullets now are translating back before they move, if that makes any sense. And that's bad, that's really bad. I think we need to enable this and disable this line of code. Let's have a look at that. We've just added our additional bounds to end bullet. We need to add them to player one bullet too. And the bounds aren't enabled, so that won't show up. Any bullets? Blink and you'll miss them. No bullets. I really need to figure out these system current time millisecond equations. Seem to have fired at some point, but not on the screen, so let's comment and translate back. Get rid of these lines of code, blank lines even, and turn on the bounds in game. And this is 11, isn't it? Wow. Ratio on double digits. So this is version 10. Planes and sources. And what are we working on now? Bullets. So we could put planes and sources bullet edition or something to that effect. But anyway, bounds. There's faults and bolts. So we'll do the true on the show bounds just to show that they're different, and we need them in enemy bullet as well. So enemy bullet is showing the additional bounds without it being true. Okay, so we've got our bounds on now, but notice we don't have the cross in the center. And bullet bounds, yep, we have player bullet bounds, which means the bullets on the invaders would show up if we could see the bullets on the screen. And I don't think that translates done anything. Nope. Let's set there off the screen. So what are we using as the angle? Alright. Should we be translating at all? Just rotate the canvas, the bullet canvas. Alright, some bullets came out there. I just seen them pass the plane. Wow. Yeah, no enemy bullets on the screen. So we do need to translate, but which one? Right, I said we need to reset the transform number after the list, or maybe before the list ends. No bullets fired yet. Now we just got a fired bullet, but nothing on the screen. So that translate doesn't do anything about that one. Is it minus on the high? No. It should work. No idea why not. I think we should employ it in the player one class. So we've got control of the fire in there. We just add a bullet fire. It loads the textures every time and tells us that. But nothing on the screen. I think this translate might be off. Probably gonna have to do it before the image or after the bounds. Alright, they're just falling straight down now in a in an angled position, so we don't need to reset them before start doing it after the list. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna move on from this to try and implement the same in player bullets. And that'll be based on the player's rotation, so that's going to be fun. So in here, we check it's still alive. Then we want to rotate, cancel that. We don't want to draw the bullet image. And we need to change those variables, so it's P1 bullets, P1 variables, P1B variables. And that's that. Draw the image. Okay, what's the logic here? Translate, rotate, translate back, do the image. Might need to translate back after the bounds so the bullet travels in the right direction. And we'll be plugging in the angle when we create the player. Bullet, yeah. So we need an angle at that time, and there's a fire method. We're not plugging in the angle at this point, so we need P1's angle on one of these. I'll tell you the logic of one in a second. Angle. It's rotation, isn't it? No. No. I'm gonna have to have a look. This is not good. Can't remember my own code. What do we call the angle of the player? P angle. Where's P angle? And it's a double. Copy that. Close player. And plug it in here. It's gonna tell me it's not static, public, whatever. Not public, can't be accessed from outside the package. We should have told me that before. Close that, and then it might be a bit more under. Angle. Gotta be public. Save. Right. We now are plugging in our P angle to one of our P bullets, which we have key control over firing, so we should be able to see it on the screen easier and figure out this damn angle code. I've been working on this code for days and I still don't understand it, you know. I understand converting degrees to radians and rotating the canvas, but I don't understand why bullet angle was coming up with 367,000 on its angle in degrees. That just don't make sense to me, and I don't understand these translate forward and translate back. Yeah, but yeah, basically the translate is translating the canvas before you rotate it, or you're gonna rotate the canvas at the XY0 mark. We need to translate it to the center of whatever it is we're translating, whatever it is we're rotating, center of the canvas. So it rotates internally as opposed to externally around the circumference, around the point. Yeah, so let's try that and figure out what's up with these values. We will have one bullet, every second bullet will come out one of the wings and it will be perfect, same as it is now. Another one could come up anywhere on the screen. And I'm not going to change the angle first, I'm just going to fire that one, then that one. Now, as you can see, where the angle was set and the bullet's coming out at the right angle. Now if you rotate, And one of the bullets should carry on going that way, but it don't. See, we're not resetting the transform after each bullet. And that's here. So only if it's alive, it's got to go in there. But that might reset the transform and stop the ship from stop the bullet flying in the direction it's supposed to. But we'll have to figure that out as usual. I get all the good jobs. Alright, so again, if we fire our bullets at without an angle, we get both coming out the same way. Enemy bullets is going crackers over there. But if we fire them at an angle, got one coming out that way, and that one's going at an angle. But it's not. It's still traveling in the positive Y as opposed to the positive angle that it's pointing at. So we're resetting too early. We need to draw that image and maybe not reset it until after the whole list has been reset, I guess. It's producing it at the right angle. If you look at that, that's the same angle as this plane is pointing. But it's still traveling up the screen because we're resetting the canvas of the bullet back to what it should be. And we only want to do that if it's rotated. Which is a good point, because if bullet angle equals 0, we don't want to reset the transforms, or we shouldn't have to reset the transforms. This translate can't happen before the bullet image. But I think we've been through this before. I'm going to put it after the bounds and the image and see what that does. So again, we now have dodgy looking bullets coming from everywhere and anywhere as we translated our canvas. And we translated it back so the rotate's not coming in either. I think our error is one of the translates and where we're doing it. So let's put that back and take away the other one. See what we get now. Or maybe we have to translate to 0 as well, like we've done in the level class. Could be as simple as that. Oh no. Not even on the screen, no. See some happening up there. So this translates wrong. Maybe if I swap them around, would that help? Because we're trying to get the reverse angle, aren't we, really? I don't think it's gonna help. Maybe put that at the top. It all goes to the direction you're currently facing it. We're currently facing, would you believe, minus 180 degrees. You know, I'd call that north, but maths programming says that's minus 180. And our bullets aren't even coming out in the X and Y with that. Or at an angle. So I think that's the one that's wrong. Unless we put the -1 first. switch those two around. There's got to be some sort of offset based on the angle, I think. We have got them coming out in front of the plane now. Okay. But one at an angle is X offset and Y offsets off by a mile. It's traveling in the right direction, just emanating from the wrong place. How do we get it to emanate from the right place? In level, we have a piece of code in the render class that looks like a bit of an error. We translate 0, 0, 0, and then rotate level width and level height. What are we doing with these is the question. Player 1 bullets. We're not using the bullet width and the bullet height. We're using half of it. No, we're using the full height and the width on the image. Okay. But our X and Y is off, and it's to do with the translates here. Alright, have two of those. See if that translates anything. If not, I'll put the translate 0, 0. Yeah, that translates just not good. Right direction, then it's off. You know what I think? I think we don't have to add the half the width and half the height. At least on the X. That would be negative X, negative Y. And that would be negative as well. Let's get that again. This way we're not telling it to translate on the X, just on the Y. Which in theory should make the bullets come out of the plane. Okay. What happens if I rotate the plane? Okay. So we're setting it and then resetting it back. Too early. Alright, we're only translating on the X and the Y. But we have to have a width and height in there. What is wrong with that code? Use one of those. Save. See how we'll get with that. Yeah, that don't work very good. What about on that angle? That works pretty good with the angle. Alright, so our offsets are off now. We're firing in the right direction, we're just emanating from the wrong place. Maybe that should be before the shot, before the bullet image. Hey, I can play about with these for hours. You can see the type of effect I'm aiming for, but there's no way of getting there short distance in a quick space of time. Yeah, that's just took it way off. It's no longer 0, 0. So we're looking at some values like these here, but they were coming out at an angle, weren't they? Strange. What's that? That's the if. Then you've got the for loop. I don't know if we should be resetting these angles. At least at that point. We've got to translate to 0, but that doesn't work. Translate to -4. I think was about the distance away from the plane. Wow. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening there. I just pressed the fire button and everything went south. We are not resetting the transform when it moves up the screen. So everything after the bullets has now gone south. Alright, so we do need these lines of coding, but I believe they're in the wrong place. And that is the -4. And then it should reset after the image is drawn. Looks like it's just going to be working with numbers that are translate if this works. So -40 on the X is not working. That direction is still the same. We're not far off though on the X. Probably another 4. Well, I say we'll work on the Y in a minute. I just want to make sure these bullets are coming out where they're supposed to be. This translate only applies to the bullet angle, I believe. The one with an angle. So when we're firing from there, they come out from there. And if we put it at an angle, the Y is way off. But they seem to be coming from the right one. So 0 Y is up here. 700 on the screen is down there. We need a negative Y on these bullets. See where they are emanating from, and I'm just going to go for a -8 here too. Seems an even number. So they're coming out from the X at a wrong value. They're off by about 60 there. And then if I rotate, and then fire. We're now off on the X as well as the Y. So as I increase the negative Y, I've got to decrease the negative X. So looking at half on that one and that one. What this really will relate to is the angle times the X and the angle times the Y and some calculation on them. I'll see if I can find Cherno's code on rotation. It should be in the little snippet I'm looking for. So we're off on the X and Y with no angle. And now we are off on the Y with one of these and X and Y on another. We're going to have to do two different versions. If the bullet image has an angle, go through this piece of code. If it doesn't, then go through this piece of code. But that will depend whether the ship is at an angle or not. We'll keep calling it a ship. It's a plane. But yeah, our Y is off, and then our X is going to be off. Our Y is too great. Now it needs to be greater. So minus 180 on the height, on the Y. We'll figure this out. Still off on the X. And still off on the Y. Try another 100. Alright, are we going the wrong way here? Translate minus Y that way. Have to see the port on the screen when they're coming from. And if the only way to do that is move the ship up, so be it. Still in the wrong Y. Now our X is off. We need to show the additional bonds. And we need to do some text in here like we have an enemy. In render we have a angular degrees after the lines. We've got it in player as well, so player one bullet. We haven't got the additional bonds. That don't really make a difference like that. It's going to be P1B. Oops. It's not rotation, it's bullet angle. I don't know if we want that as an int, but yeah, let's have a look at these now. Show bounds is on, I think. Okay, can't see the angle on that one. 0 degrees, okay. 16 degrees, yeah. So the X and Y's do need translating. But what to? I don't know. Right. So we take that line of code out and use that. See what we get then. It's got to be relatable to the XY of maybe not the player bullet, the ship. Ah, okay, nearly there. But our direction of travel is messed up. Great. I think our X and Y need these same translate values in the draw image. Translate the image instead of the canvas. Would that work? Or can we translate it back afterwards? After we draw the image. I think the bullets are going to come out the wrong place again. But they might travel at the right direction. No. Now we've got bands coming out from one place and bullets from another. How bizarre. If the bands come out in the right place, then we've got made some progress. No, the bands and the bullets are off. The bullets are traveling in the right direction and the bands are not. So we need to combine the two there. And the reason they're not is because I've put the translator over here. And not after the image. Alright, so the image needs the same translate. Copy that for the X. And that for the Y. Now we should get the opposite effect. Should have the bullets in the right place, but the bands off, and not because of the translate this time, but because we translated the image. So it'll look identical, but it'll be done a different way around. Is the confusing thing I'm trying to tell you. Alright, so we fire some bullets straight. There's nothing on the screen, great. And the Y is way off. We fire them at an angle. Again, the images have gone the wrong way. But the bullets and the bands are flying in the right direction. So maybe these are positives. As I translate, I've lost the original translate. And bullets. So it's the plus positive and the plus positive. I should bring the X into order. He says, still can't see my images. Ah, they're at the top of the screen. Now they're traveling the wrong direction from the wrong point. Wow, how bizarre. Maybe that's our Y. Try switching that on. One of these will work, they're bound to. So let's try again. Almost in with the barn. Yeah, in with the barns now. Try an angle. Yeah, no idea how to fix that. I did actually see a bullet. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out this journal code because we're rotating something, but we're not moving the cameras back. Maybe it's just rotate and then move the image. But if we're gonna move the image, I think it's on a negative to the rotate. If that makes any sense. Oh wow! Oh wow! It was still off on the angle. The ones without the angle seem to be coming out in the right place. The ones with are off. So what's the deal with that? We're gonna do a if angle not 0, I think. How to do this? Translating at the bottom here, we don't really need to do that, I don't think. But we could translate first. Let's get rid of that line of code. See what we get. See if we translate the image, we have to translate the bounds too. Okay, so they're coming out almost correct. Tilt the plane and completely off on the X and Y. So it's going to be something like X times cosine times the angle equals where it's supposed to come out, but yeah, lost on that part at the moment. And the only other thing to try is this one. Negative and then positive on the image. Yeah, that does work. Now, for some reason, they're coming up in this diagonal. So what have I done there in effect? See, the angle of that plane there is probably the angle of that there, so it needs to be a negative on the angle. Let's try that. Then in effect that should rotate it from where it's emanating from to 90 degrees or 180 degrees, one of those. Not sure what it works out to, but it will tell us at the bottom there. Yeah, no idea where they're coming up. Top of the screen again. Or is it the bottom of the screen this time? Or are they moving in the opposite direction? Definitely something going on with so obviously that's completely wrong. And I don't think this translate's going to do anything either. I'm going to leave it there and do some research on this. Because it's mind-boggling stuff. It really is. It took me ages to get the invaders to rotate and target. But these seem to be a whole new problem. Right, so X and Y is off there. What if we rotate same place? Now we're getting the minus angle there, but it looks like it could be coming from the right spot. I'm gonna pause it now. Alright, so doing a translate here, but I believe we're resetting the transform too early. I think we should do it after the list, but I think that's what's giving us trouble, because we are resetting the bullet transform here. And really we only need to set the G2D, the original. I don't think, because we've set a new 2G there, so it should be a 0 translate anyway. And these really should be within the menu if statement. Yeah, so okay. We had some bullets, I don't know where they've gone. Rotate them. And no, not on the screen at all. But they did start from the center of these 4 invaders. Strange. Is our translate that's off. Doing no translate at this point, I'm just doing the rotate. Okay. So without the translate, we're remaining in the same spot. What about if we rotate? The rotate one is over there. And is changing by the second. Wow. That's not good. So we're increasing our angle every time, we're not resetting it. Oh, that's strange. So we're rotating that angle, then we're rotating the angle again and again and again. Because we're not resetting the bullets transform. Let's reset that. Then we'll work out the translate. okay. So our 0 ones are okay except for our offset that we put in the image. If we rotate, the angle is still increasing. And the X and Y is never definite from where they emanate. And the angle is not coming through. Still saying 0 on the ones that are at an angle. Great. So P bullet angle says 0 there. Does it need to be an int? And do these need to be radians? I'll have to figure all this out. That should show the bullet angle now. In a greater accuracy than with the angle. I believe we did some maths on it. We might have to apply here. So we're getting our normal XY for the ones that aren't rotated. If I rotate it, what we getting? Degrees. Can't even see those. But yeah, they do seem to be increasing in the angle. So we need a way to reset this, and it's going to be rotate 0. Yeah. Going to do rotate 0 before we reset the transform. It might actually have to be 180, 0, minus 180. Oh, it's still increasing the so the rotate 0 doesn't do anything. The X of the bullet's going to increase every time, so is the Y, so that's wrong. These should just be X and Y's. And because our rotate is getting steeper every time, it's because we're not translating. We're always doing it from the 0x, 0y position of the bullet. It needs to be more centered than that. And I think that's why it's increasing, but these are the wrong values. Player. Render. Alright. So it is the same code, and it seems to work right, but we're rotating in a different way. So maybe that piece of code might help. We're definitely setting up the translates like that. So I'll copy that over a second to play one bullet. Stick that in there. No. We definitely want to play a bullet with feet. Play one bullet height. What is the problem with that? Right, it's the P1B X and Y. And it's player 1 bullets G2D. So that should be our translate before we rotate. Then we're going to have to translate it back or rotate it back. And I think that rotate that's in there. It's probably a good way to do it. Copy. We might need the other translate as well. And it's in here. Oops. Just like that. It's not P angle, it's P1 bullet angle. Which means this needs to be in the for loop. Just after that line. Alright, save that. And everything except the translate back is in place now. We should get some sort of no, our translator's changed everything now. And even if we rotate, probably gonna get them coming at the wrong place. Alright, let's check out that translate. We'll put the other one in. See if that works. This should bring it back to its 0 position. At the very least it works in the other class, so it has 0 degrees one. That seems to work. It did work the first time. And we're dropping down to 3 and 4 frames, great. And again, no bullets. I think that first one is off here. I have no idea how to fix it. That's to rotate it back. Maybe that translate should go in there as well. Yeah, still no bullets on the screen. We will be back. We'll figure this out. I'll be back. Alright, let's get back into this. I did try and fix this off camera. It's not there yet. Our bullets and everything else are working differently. So I just want to fix that up. And player. So we've got our vectors in player and enemies, and we've got our angles. And we're updating the x's with dx. And we're doing it completely different in the other classes. So I think we should employ this in the same way. Don't know if we want current vectors of the bullets. I think I might be adding too much. Let's just tick. But I've done it wrong. Bullets are in a list, they're not a single item. So I need to get the enemy gold item, is it? the right package. Grab one of these and it'll be in a tick. Need this list. In here. But the list doesn't go through enemies. It goes through the P1 bullet list. Which makes everything that comes out of P1 bullet. Let's call that P1B. Keep standardizations. And just add it there. We're going to get errors with the current vector. I'm not doing the rotation at that point. And do something the same. Alright, the rotation, we need to reset it. Not sure. But our rotation isn't called E rotation, it is called bullet angle. We don't need any targeting vectors at the moment. And I'll create a current vector just for tracking. We might have missiles fired later on, missile tracking. Because we're not set it up yet. So in here we need the same as close it. Convert dy and the rotation. Copy. And I think we've got the rotation already. We have on the angle. Yeah, import vector 2D. Get rid of that rotation. And everything should be set there. Now we need to plug dx and the dy's in. Seems are rotating every time. That should work. That's the vector 2D. Save that. Import the vector maps. Don't need the static import. Alright. I don't know if private makes that any good. So I'll do that. And that's our new P1 bullet constructor. Now we need to figure out this angle. And we need to plug the dx in. So this is bullet dy. And then if we have a different move with left and right, which we'll probably need to bring in. No, not for bullets. Bullets will just move on the y. So our dx will always be 0. I would assume. Why we got a problem with this? No? What's no? Can't see any no in there. Well, let's get rid of that then. So put another one there. Save. Save that. No, I don't think so. It's not no now, look, because I moved that. Oh, stupid. Right, yeah, so Netbeans is playing up as usual. There's our tick, new tick. And we need to increase the x by the angle. Believe, no. Hmm, I think the translate X might need moving, depend on the angle. I've added a system print outline here, and we're currently getting, when we fire a bullet, if we don't get any errors. Whole bunch of bullets. So one of them's coming out at the right angle. Got a terrible frame rate because of that system art. And the diagonal ones just don't work. And they don't work because they're off the screen. So our bullet move has got to be greater than -10. Where's dy greater -10 just off the screen for the player bullets. And no bullets at an angle. Okay. These are still going below where it's supposed to. That means dy is greater than -10. No idea why these are going in the negative from 4 and they're going the other way. What are we pulling out here is y. Should be player bullet y. It is. Right, so our bullet y is getting into the -1000. This is translator, so we're actually translating this too far. Even though we're translating it back. But we're not translating it back in the same way. So let's bring that back. That should be the original. And that should give us the same digits here. Can I take that off? And that. To match that, and I think the angle. Oh, that's high. Do we need the angle? Oh, we'll check that in a second. Alright, so this is the translate. We've got another translate back, so copy that. Let's figure out what this is. So, got a -x. negative bullet width, negative Y, and negative bullet height. Now I think we've got these wrong way around. I think it should be negative first and then the positive, because the Y is in the negative. If that makes any sense. It don't to me, so you're not alone. Excuse me. Alright, so I'll move to the center and fire 2 bullets. Oh, perfect. I might right this time. So one's a negative 370, and the one's 70. That's fine. So the X is moving back and forward as it should. Um, Rotate this. Fire off another couple of shots. And not getting the one with the rotation. Okay, so I translate. We're moving 370 on the X and minus 2780 on the Y. But then we're moving positive on that and negative on the others. So that should move us back to the right point. And it does. But the rotate is wrong. I'm trying to think why the rotate is wrong. But our translate is working. So if our translate is working backwards and forwards, then we don't need that. And we don't need to set the bullet X. Just the G2D. It's all logic at the end of the day. I bet it don't work now still. Okay, so they're accurate. And that's not, okay. So we've lost that angle on the angle one by doing that. So I'm going to bring this one back. Try it again. Yeah, I seriously doubt we're getting 1400 frames. I keep saying that. No. That did absolutely nothing. What if we don't set that one back? That would be an ingenious version of it. No, that does absolutely nothing. They try to rotate it back afterwards. We may need to translate to do that. And this translate may need to go after the image and everything else, which we have a copy here, so I could plug that in. Try that one instead. Translate after the bullet image and the balance. Or translate back anyway. But this should only be employed if the angle is not 0. But if the angle is 0, it should be the same anyway. Oh, that's not good. Didn't see any bullets on the screen now. Nope. So we do need to translate that. Great stuff. We rotate again if that makes a difference. We be in the minus angle anyway. I think we're going in the right direction. We're just not on the screen. And I know that Y has gone funny again. Minuses. No, that's right. So it should be staying the same on the Y's as well, but it's not because we're translating here. We'll get it, don't you worry. Alright, that's not working. Try a negative angle. No, I think we're resetting the transform in the wrong place now. And we're not resetting it back here or down the bottom. Try that. Okay, they're coming out straight. And they're remaining straight, so mind boggling. This bullet Y should be increased, but bullet X is not being increased as well. Yeah, there is some code to figure out what X should be. I can find it in here. And that's it, but it's reference to 3D movement. And it's here. So putting this in the tick will add the rotation to the X and the Y. So if we add this to the dx and the dy, then our rotation should be applied to the bullet. But we've got to do it in here. Probably best to do it before the dx dy. Alright. So these are going to be doubles, I think. Y move and X move, these are the dx, or P1B dx, so dx, that's supposed to be an x, and we'll have to figure out these in a minute. That can just be cut off there, and same with that. Now we need the y, that is the y move. Then we need the rotation, which is bullet angle. And that, if we add it to our dx, xa and ya in here, so our x will be xa, because we've already used the dx, and our y will be ya for the same reason. Now depending on our bullet angle, that should move the x and the y, which in turn should move the translation in the right direction. But this is just trying things that might work, and we're not had much luck with that, so no guarantees. Whatever the weather, we should get a cool effect. So the angle is 0, it's not made a change. Change the angle. And again now change, so we need to take out one of these, and these seem to be working right. The translations you wouldn't believe. We can't reset the transform afterwards, I don't think. Or if we do, we've got to set it in here. That should give the same effect of the bullet flying in the angular direction. Keep pressing the R to reset the angle. Right, that's not working. What if we take out the translate back? Will it keep adding that every time? And I think I got the X and the Y wrong when we plugged in the XA and the Y. Right, that doesn't help. We put the translate after the bullet image. Translate back after the image. Now we don't know if it's firing or not. Great. But that doesn't seem to be working. Why not? Like I said, I did mess this up a lot here. It's supposed to be this is supposed to be dy. Possibly a dx. That way when the angle gets calculated, we times it by the dx and dy. Yeah, whatever is moved. But if we move on the dy or the dx, we still want to calculate the angular movement and include it in both. But this transform is not doing us any good at this point. Alright, get rid of these. And try that. So I'm not resetting any of the transforms because we're believing our translate will work. It's not sure of the logic. Nope. Our bullets were beside of the screen now. So even if we take that out, it's easy to have it twice. I don't think that's going to make a difference. Yeah, that's just sent everything funny. Reset a bullet transform. Or it's going to keep translating and translating. But we don't want it off the bullet image. We should be coming from its origin, and it don't seem to be. Yeah, it's way off the X, and the angles aren't being applied. So bring back the offset, translate back. So our bullet translate here seems to cause a problem. Then maybe we'll have to rotate it again back to a previous angle. This is hard. Okay. Alright. So the Y is wrong here. If we move at an angle, we want to add these to the dx and the dy. Alright, are these just supposed to be the x and y? Confusing. That was supposed to be y, wasn't it? That was supposed to be x. Alright, try that. Alright. Then these should still be plus equals dx. Start them both. Potentially, if the bullet angle was 0, that shouldn't matter. But I think these are times move speed. Oh, no, we're now getting even less. Oh, that's pretty bizarre. Man. Nope. Times bullet speed. Wow. That's increased it way too much. Uh, DX and DY need add into the XA, I think. Yeah, that's not working. Alright, back to where we were. I'll have to figure out this off camera, I think. Save. Back to where we were. There's some sort of maths to it. I just don't have it at the moment. Yeah. So far, so good. No angular bullets. But our angular bullets are in the set transform. So we can't translate back, or if we translate back, we can't reset it. But if we don't reset it, then everything else goes a bit funny. No 0 angles on the bullets. But it didn't matter that we didn't reset it. So it's this one that gives us the angle on the bullets. And we can't put it down here because our offset is off, I think. So because we've got an offset, it seems to be larger than the screen. Let's add that to the image here, I'll take it away. So copy, and it is going to be minus that. Copy that. And minus that. Bullet width and height should be fine. So that's drawing the image without the translate, which may cause major problems in the future with collision detection. Okay. Interesting, they've got no bands. It's because we didn't add the same to the bands. But yeah, okay, that seems to work on the offset. But then we can't do the reset. And we need to add the same to the bands. And then we need to calculate that in when we're detecting the bullet collision, I think. I don't know. But that didn't happen before. It's resetting the translate. Let's do the old one. Still no rotation on that bullet. Alright, let's try resetting after the list. Is that after the list? I think so. Oops. Can't reset it there either. Strange. Does it matter which one we reset? Certainly matters where we reset it. No rotate. You see how much the bands are off. Why are we not getting rotates? Do we need to translate that? Would that make a difference? Alright, we're resetting the transform. But if we don't reset the transform, we'll get in trouble. So try that down there. No, first one comes out and then it resets. No angles. Alright, we need to add those to the bars. And that should do those. There's another Y there. There's another X. Yeah, we do need to translate it back. Maybe bring back the rotate as well. So they've come back. Still no angles. Great. See what that does. Rotating in the opposite direction now. It'll translate. Yeah, that didn't help. But if we're gonna rotate, we need to reset. And because we reset, we get no angle. Great. But that's we should really only use those if there's an angle. See what happens there. That should be offset. Okay. They're still not coming out at an angle. Good. So that was it set transform. We didn't apply the offset to this X or Y. That's why we can still see that. No angles. Now they're off the screen. Great. So, because we're already resetting that, we don't need those. And now the band should be off. But whether we've got an angle, I don't know. This is really confusing and really annoying. You would think fire a bullet at that angle would be such an easy thing to program. Yeah, no doing. Rotating back. No resets on the transformer. No rotate. Great. It's pretty pointless doing all that one. Doesn't seem to apply the rotating whatever you do. And if I set that back, then we get errors. If I don't set it like that, then we don't get an angle. And that's what happens when we don't translate it back or reset a transform. Not sure which one to do. Let's just translate it back after. Alright, our bands are there. Our image is off. And the bands are still traveling in the same direction. So that don't work. There's nothing else to try. So reset the transforms again, but that's not gonna change anything. How annoyingly simple that would be to fix, and all you need to know is what the rotate does. And I haven't got a clue. We're getting one bullet now. And nothing else. So we can't do that transform there. Try it in there. And then in there. Which is the F. Which makes more sense to reset it there. Bounds are coming out right. And we have angular bullets that aren't coming out from the right spot. Or the right direction even. But they are angular, so that transform looks like it's in the right place, but let's have a look with this. Okay. Now we don't have angles, great. We get double bullets. Just no angles. Try reset the transform in there. And then with and without the translate. Oh, still no direction. Great. Alright, I've got the bounds working. No bullet images. Ah, that's frustrating. This is the line of code that you would use to translate it back. Stick that in there. On comment. That's after we've drawn the image. Before we reset the transform. Again, and then again, and again. So our bombs are coming out in the right place. Wrong direction. And no image. Oh, this is frustrating. Try it without reset. Let's go back to where we don't reset the transform and it goes nuts. Okay. And still no angles. So far. Don't translate back. Increasingly translate out. Yeah, so that's what I was on about now. We need to reset this after all this is done. And these should be inside here. Let's try that one. Not translating back at this point. Not getting that angle either. What is wrong with that? Then when we rotate and we translate, we're actually moving the Y and the X. That angle's not coming up. If that doesn't rotate anything, then we're lost. Yeah, completely lost though. The angles aren't coming through, they're knocking at 0 degrees. So bullet angle is always coming up as 0. And we're resetting an error as 0. I think that's an error. Bullet angle should be set once it's fired or created. And it shouldn't be reset after that. Ah, okay. Oh, that was coming from the airplane and it was diagonal. Alright, so that was an error. Now we need to figure out which is the reset. Try that one. Basically after the bullets we want to reset it, not before. Everything else there seemed to work. Now our X and Y's off, but only slightly. We increase the angle more, and the X and the Y's off slightly more. Alright, so our X and Y need augmenting. But that's without the translate. Let's try it with the translate. Because we're resetting the X form down there and it doesn't seem to change anything. But I think these translates are off. They need to be applied to this. Okay. Now they're both emanating from the ship. Almost. Yeah, if they're at an angle, they're gonna have to come out at the center of the ship. But they're moving in the wrong direction because we reset the transform. Alright, let's get rid of some of this code and keep the system printer out. Get rid of that one because I think that's causing a problem. One of these translates is keeping it moving upwards up the screen. But the other one seems to be doing its job. It's not that one. Can't win. So we need to put one of these translates in here. No translate, but reset the translate after rotate. and the is off the wrong direction in the X and the Y. It's remaining static, so we're on the right track. I believe it's going to be minus and minus. Or minus bullet width by the X and minus bullet height by the Y. Yeah, that's kind of further away than it was. So if we do the opposite, or does that stay the same? We'll see. So it's well, this sort of value in here. And -1 on that. Let's see. Images are off the screen now. I think that's off on the X. This angle here. But I didn't see the rectangle on the screen, so that's wrong. Try that on the angle, but made no difference. Still, the X and Y start point is the same. No idea where these go. Alright, keep trying. See what's on the screen now. Images and angle text. No, no bounds. Oh, that's so annoying. You say it worked great as well. The X and Y's are off. That's going the wrong way. use some formula to get it right. It's not that. It's about 100 off on the X, and it's probably going to be the same on the Y. Should be plus bullet width. Still not making a difference. What happens if we increase the Y? Or should we even increase the Y? Oh, we should have increased the Y. That's just moved on the canvas, it's not moved anywhere else. Alright, we need to translate this canvas. But I don't think it's bullet width times 2. Shit by 2. Barnes are back. Directions is, what have we got going on there? Is that just a fluke? Yeah, they're emanating from the bottom of the screen on the wrong Y. And the bands are going in a different direction, so what's the difference? We translate the bullets there, drawn the image there. These bands should come out the same way, but we've got an offset on the bands that we don't have on the X. Let's move that. And remove that. And I'm not sure about the rectangle and oval. Could be 74. And the Y is going to be the same. Alright, let's try that. No bullets on the screen. What a spell. At least the bullets are inside their bands now. Alright, so we're off on the Y. and the x, but we're traveling in the right direction. So I translate y to minus height. That didn't seem to change. They are slightly closer, but it's going to be the x. Oh, we set the x the wrong way. And let's see what it works. I really want to be translating and rotating the player width and height. Wow, that went the wrong way. Getting closer. Still way off on the y. So our y is starting to grey. It should be less. And I'm minusing the bullet height, but sharing it by 2. That's getting really close. It really is. So now our x is off. And our y is off. So x needs to be less. Now y needs to be less too. Now x must be greater. Let's do times 2. We'll get it. If I just sit here all day and do a operator at a time, I don't know if that worked or not. Let's do the same to the y. We went the wrong way. No, it's the on the x. Our y is nearly correct. It's on the x. It'll be a minus on the x. Same as on the y. Right, I don't know where they were going. No, it's our Y. Need a greater on the Y. And that's almost perfect. Or less on the Y, is it? 2 times 3. That's the wrong way. Go. We kept going. Um, bullet height is such a small number, you know, so I need to double that. Still off on the Y. Or is it the X? Oh, it's the Y. Probably by about 20. Maybe a little more. Guess if the Y is greater. Oh, that could be on the X. Oh, it's so hard to figure. I'd say that's on the Y, on the X, but it's made out an 8, not a 4. See where we go from there. So 14 frames per second, and we're well off on the X. Use a negative on the X, but the Y is almost there. Until we rotate it, then the Y is really up. So we're going the wrong way in the right Y, and slightly too far in the X. 3 on that, 4 on that. Okay, one of them's right. Gonna have to assume it's the X. No, it's the X that's off as well as the Y. No, I'd say that's just the Y. So I made that a 5. See how close we can get it. Looking at it on the direction, it looks like a Y, which we've increased the wrong way. If we reset that, it's on the X. Got too much of a positive on the X. Too much positive on the Y as well. That's just bizarre, really is. But if I reset the transform, then you know what happens then. What are we translating to? What are the values coming out? Yeah, no idea why these with an angle, with zero angle, come out at the bottom of the screen. It's bizarre. Alright, so our wires are off by a whole bunch. 2084. Put in one of these. I'm gonna fix this off camera because I'm